All right, we are back with another episode of 90s Noise. I'm April, born 1991.
And I'm Ashley, born 1988. Somebody's going surfing. Do 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 do.
Okay, but that's not the song that's used.
No, it's not.
Okay, so you after today's episode, you can calm down. I won't be throwing ninja shit at you for a while.
Good. That was one of my questions.
The early 90s had a lot of ninja stuff that was very prominent, obviously. Uh, today's episode, and one thing I think I'm going to start doing a little bit better of is we're going to kind of give more of the synopsis of what we have watched if it's a movie for people who haven't seen the movies. We've not done the best job at that.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I was going to ask if I can read the synopsis since.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have it pulled up?
Okay, let me grab it real quick. I was trying to, because I had looked it up before, and I was trying to find a somewhat decent one because when I looked on IMDb, it's literally like one sentence, and I'm like, this doesn't
really. Mine has like a good. There's like a good. Well, what about you've got the DVD. That's how you watch the damn thing. So if you go on IMDb, the storyline. Maybe so scroll down. Yeah, I guess the synopsis that they have listed. But if you scroll down to the storyline, that gives a little bit better. That's what I was gonna read, honestly. That's where I was gonna read it from.
What does KGF Vissers mean? Is that some guy's own, like synopsis? Maybe they have like 5 different people write a synopsis and they pick the best one.
Usually I think I don't necessarily know on IMDb, but that synopsis is a pretty decent one. So I feel that can suffice for people who haven't seen the movie.
Like myself.
You've seen it now.
Okay, so brothers Johnny, an adolescent surf talent, Adam, a pre-adolescent video game addict, grow up carefree in California as adopted sons of Marines veteran Mac, inseparable friends of wacky local lout Iggy, Colonel Chi. Is that how they say it?
Correct.
His military reign of terror culminates in their tiny Birthland Island state, PatuSan. Is that how you say it?
PatuSan.
Off the Vietnam coast, former Royal Guards officer Thatch comes to summon the brothers to return and restore the Pacific monarchy because they are the sons of the murdered king, whom Mac took in exile for safety. They are then joined on the adventurous journey by a bored Californian police detective whose attention was drawn by the ninja team that failed, thanks to Thatch, to murder the brothers in Mac's home.
I mean, it's an adventure story. It really is. So,
yeah.
For those who don't know, we are talking Surf Ninjas from 1993. It came out August 20th, 1993. So it is just had its 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a cult classic for people who enjoyed it. It stars Ernie Reyes Jr., Rob Schneider, Nicholas Cowan, Ernie Reyes Sr. Also has Leslie Nielsen and Tone Lock and Kelly. Oh gosh, I could never remember how to properly pronounce her last name, even though it's like 3 letters. Kelly Hugh, I think. Kelly Hu, H-U. Please forgive me. You're a freaking incredible actress, but I am horrendous at name pronunciations. But it's it's definitely one that you gotta take it for with a grain of salt. It is comedic. It's not really meant to be super, super serious. And yeah, so Ashley, this was your very first time watching it. Do your brutal honesties.
I don't really have much to say. I feel like if we could just talk about it as it goes as we go along through the episode. I can just give my feedback on it then, but you already know my take on ninja movies. So I don't know where you were expecting me to be on the scale of like the ones we've watched so far. Do you feel like this is one you were thinking I would like the most, or where were your thoughts at?
I feel like this is one that is a little bit more enjoyable as even being older than like Three Ninjas. Because Three Ninjas is very, very preteen focused, I feel, where this one's kind of more teenage focused.
Mm,
Some of the different storylines are more of a high school feel in this movie, whereas the Three Ninjas was very much like middle school focused. So I guess in a sense, I thought, especially also since there was more familiar names in this one too, that it might be a little bit
mm,
more, might enjoy it a little more. So yes, I did think this might be a little bit more because it does have a little, I feel a little more action. Like I said, the storylines are a bit more adultish
mm.
in this than the others. So that's where my thought was on it.
Yeah, I just felt like the movie didn't really hold my attention
Hmm.
that well compared to the other ones that I watched.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did go in expecting with those same thoughts you had because of, the likes of Rob Schneider. I know his sort of
Hmm.
comedy and what he's going to bring to it, but didn't really remember any of his stuff from that early on in the 90s. So that was
Yeah.
kind of different and honestly confusing because I don't know. I guess I missed the line of where he was. I thought he was playing like a high schooler. I'm like, how
He
old are
was.
you? No, what?
Yeah, he was playing a high schooler. He
Oh,
was, I think, like he was like 38 or something, but he was playing a high schooler. Yeah, his character was still in high school. He
okay.
was
That's what I
he was
thought. But then I thought I read that he wasn't. So it was very confusing. And I'm like, did I miss that? Like,
no, I
why
think
is he
maybe you
at school
just
with them? Because it was a little
eh,
concerning.
yeah, I think maybe you just had read the fact that he was older playing younger.
Okay.
He was a high schooler. He has that one scene where he plays their uncle. Just you gotta admit there were some good comedic parts in it that you can't just help but laugh. Like when he's playing their uncle with the bum legs and everything, where I come down and whoop you up if I didn't have this bum leg.
So when do you remember first seeing this? Because you would have only been two when it came out.
I believe it was probably a rental. I don't think we saw it in theaters. I remember this is how my brain works. And so we probably watched it in 94 because I remember the song, them doing the rendition of Barbara Ann.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. That was the one thing that stuck with me
Hmm.
so much. And I think that also like gave me it made me want to listen to more of the Beach Boys.
Uh,
I do think it was probably, like I said, 94,
wasn't that
probably a
song in a
rental.
Full House episode?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
remembering it from.
Yeah. It's in, that's, I believe, the one that they sing in the living room or
Yeah.
in the actual house.
Yeah.
And then they sing with them at
Like
the
the
concert.
concert tour thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just latched onto that. And that was a big thing for me. And so I like we discussed with Three Musketeers, I became obsessed with it. I always wanted to rent it. I always wanted to watch it. And I'd go to the scene with at the school where he first does it, and then the very last scene. I'm a little bit of a music dork in that sense. I enjoy the slapstick comedy of it. Again, I think the martial art aspect is just incredible. Like, I'm so envious of those people who can do that, that I don't know, maybe that's why I'm so drawn to so many of these movies, is because I'm just fascinated.
With the art of the,
Yeah.
the choreography and all of that.
Being and most, I mean, both Ernie Senior and Junior are incredibly talented martial artists.
Now, do you know if they did their own stunts on this as well?
I believe they did. I most of them, if not all of them.
Hmm.
Ernie Senior was, I believe, the stunt choreographer for it too.
Okay.
He had done a lot of choreographing, if I remember correctly, for different I think he helped with some of the other stuff that Ernie had done. And this was one of the first times that the two of them got to be on screen together. And I know when I had first met Ernie Jr., we were talking about it, and he was telling me a story about the scene in the cave. And because I'd asked him, I was like, how is it fighting your father? He was like, that scene was like really crazy intense and insane, rolling around on that cave floor and uh bat dung and then having to go back and do other takes. And I think that's incredible. And that was the PatuSan portions were all shot in Thailand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
Mhm. It was, so I believe it was Venice, California for those scenes, and then it was Thailand for the PatuSan scenes.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, yeah, because those scenes, like, you can't find anywhere like that in
Yeah.
here in the US. Those scenes, some of those lines that they have on there, like when they're actually going in to talk to the cave, trying to find the cave, and the whole something that money can't buy. What is it? Knives, the legendary knives of Patusan. Oh yeah, sure. Money can't buy knives. Money can't buy, and the fact that it was then just a reoccurring joke for a while. They're like, oh, I'd make him shut up, but I don't have a knife. different different things like that.
What was your favorite part from the movie or scene or anything?
Oh gosh, probably I enjoyed the last fight scene. Definitely the big last fight scene, especially the guy that kept on getting kicked down the stairs and rolling down the stairs.
Hmm.
And then when at the very end, when they're doing the coronation and stuff, and he's climbing back up, and Johnny goes over and goes, "Newsflash, your side lost." And he's just it just throws himself back down the stairs. uh, Little things like that. But that scene, those scenes, and then the when they get captured and Adam sneaks away, gets the truck, the
Hmm.
Jeep, and backs up and everything into the guards, and it's like, ain't it bitchin'? Of course, me being super young, hearing that, and of course, I my parents were not. That was one thing my parents weren't happy about with that
Oh,
movie.
whoops. Cover your ears,
Whoopsies.
April.
Whoopsies.
Too late.
Yeah,
I
especially with the
mean,
rating.
yeah, but I mean, it's just an expression. It's not, That's like
Uh,
a non-hurtful
it's
type
not call
instruction.
it's not calling anybody a bitch
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
anything.
I think the weirdest part for me was just that, like, once he figured out who he was, all of a sudden he had all these ninja capabilities that just like appeared, and you're thinking, What?
Because it's his destiny.
Yeah, okay."
All right, you gotta yes, that was like really suddenly his foot just
Like,
is going off by itself and
right, yeah, just professional, just like he's a pro. He's been doing this longer than his uncle over there.
yeah. No, I enjoyed some of those little cheesy moments. Of course, like we said, it's very definitely very Hollywood. And the only thing I wish though is I do feel this movie rewatching it a f after rewatching a few times, I feel like it was a little rushed, like the
Yeah, that
storyline.
was one of my things. It did seem like it went from the high school to being captured to like
Mm,
boom, they're at the end of the movie already, and like nothing was really able to develop at all.
yeah, and that's one obviously as a kid, you don't as a
Right,
kid
it's not going to make
with
any
with
sense.
brothers, we were all about action and constantly moving.
Right, and as
But
long as it kept going and it didn't have too long of those like dead
yeah,
moments, then you were fine with it.
exactly. But like I said, as watching as an adult, and I've rewatched it numerous times, after watching it as an adult, I'm like, I wish that storyline could have developed a little bit better. They could have taken out some of these scenes and added a little bit
Mm.
more to it. But I know that they were trying to jump on the train because like Ernie
They were definitely trying to
had
jump on the train.
so like Ernie having had the success with Turtles too, the studio was, oh, we've got to market him, we've got to get him going, all this. And so that's why number one, that's why Kino did not come back for Turtles 3. And that's why what brought along Surf Ninjas. And unfortunately, it did not hold up. It did
And
not do.
it's like almost after this movie came out, you didn't really hear about ninja movies for a long time.
I think this was kind of at the end of
It was like
that
a very quick
craze.
turnover, like ninja, ninja, ninja,
It
ninja, and then
it was.
all ninja
And
out.
then it was more like I think it then turned to I think it started to kind of get to more of a the scary movie phase was kind of the
Yeah,
big thing after this. Like 2000 or
yeah.
2000 94 I think was kind of more of a quiet year in that sense, but then things really started to pick up with scary movies.
Hmm.
And unfortunately these like went just disappeared. I mean, you honestly, this is a movie that you cannot there it is nowhere on streaming services. It is either you purchase it on Amazon, like an actual a hard DVD copy. It is on YouTube right now. I don't know how long
Hmm.
that's gonna
Oh
last.
wow, doing a little promo.
Yeah. And it's one that it does suck that they could do more marketing, like bringing stuff back,
Mm.
and there is still a decent fan base for this movie. I've looked up all sorts of different things. I mean, hell, like this
Oh yeah, I
I've
didn't
got
even notice
I've
that.
even got my Surf Ninja shirt on that I got from Toy Snobs 2 years ago. It was my birthday in 2022. We were
Hmm.
still in the Panhandle. Yeah, they had released the shirts. I got this one of my three ninjas because they were doing a ninja bundle and it was released like the week after my birthday. And so I got the bundle for myself for as a birthday present to myself. I know Nick Cowan, who played Adam, had just done a shirt for Surf Ninjas for the 30th anniversary. His pre-sale has ended
Hmm.
for it, but I know he's got a lot more that he's working on to keep rolling more merchandise, because there just really isn't any merchandise available for this movie. And it sucks because there's so many other things do have that were did even worse in theaters than this, don't have the following that this actually does. And whatever company owns this property still has literally just put it on the back shelf and is letting it collect dust. And I don't like it. Slamming my baby bottle pop down.
Say something. So I have
Go
a
ahead.
tough question for you.
Okay.
How do you rate your ninja movies? Like where would they be in order from 1 to 3?
Oh gosh. So are you talking? Okay, so are we talking which movies specifically are we going off of? Like, so Surf Ninjas is one that you're asking about. What are the other two that you want me to put in there?
Three Ninjas and Teenage Turtles.
Oh, damn, girl. You. So 1 to 3, Turtles is always gonna have to be number one. I mean, it is what it is. That is legitimately how I got my name. I have so many connections to that movie. I mean, I have a fucking turtle tattooed that Kevin Eastman, one of the co-creators, drew for me. So definitely Turtles, then probably Surf Ninjas and Three Ninjas. While I loved the Three Ninja movies and it was fun with it being three siblings and everything, especially looking at it now, there's just so many issues. Like, it would not hold up today at all. Surf Ninjas, well, yes, there are some, it is more male focused and everything, but Kelly's character does still play a role. She's not just sitting on the sidelines the whole time. She actually does do some fighting herself. She's not she's not a hopeless female.
That
Like,
whole thing was kind of weird. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't feel like that was necessary at all.
Not
That whole setup.
No, but I, in a sense, because I mean that was a big thing, was arranged marriages. And I did like how at the end she's just, hey, the whole, or whenever it was in the middle, whatever portion it was, that whole, I know we're like supposed to get married, but I don't even know if I want to get married. I have a list of things that I want to do first. So let's kind of take this a few steps back and maybe we can just start off with a date instead. So I did like how her character initiated that and was like, listen, I know I'm supposed to do this. This is what is my family's expecting, but I don't know if this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm letting you know that I'm still interested in maybe hanging out, getting to know each other better, and we'll see where it goes from there. We're also only 16. Like, we're not going to get married at 16 just because it's arranged. We're not living there. So I did like how even in 1993 they had the female character pretty much stand up for herself in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that part. I truly did.
Who was your favorite character?
Ooh, definitely gonna have to go with. I'm gonna stick with the main guy there, Johnny. I mean, I liked. I don't know, his character, just something about it is one that you're drawn to. and the was it charisma?
Mhm.
He's just a charismatic. I mean, he starts off kind of as just a carefree teenager, just interested in surfing and
Which my complaint about it, I didn't feel like there was that much surfing in the movie to be called Surf Ninjas.
I understand. I do understand that because it is more minimal.
I remember you telling me it's gonna be a lot of surfing. You're gonna love it. It's more surfing. I'm like, okay. And I was thinking more surfing, and the ninja was just like a little bit of a side hustle thing.
I did like I definitely understand. I did like how they used the surfing once they're in PatuSan,
Hmm.
how they use that to get to the little like other island or wherever they were needing to for where Mac was being held. Yeah, definitely was gonna definitely have to say Johnny, especially now as an adult. I think my mom had said when I was younger that my favorite character was Adam, the younger brother. And so I'm not. She was like, you thought he was the cutest and everything. I was like,
That makes
oh.
sense. That really does
I
at
mean,
your age, like for
I was
that
like,
little
yeah, because
kid.
I
Yeah,
was
why would you
young
go for
and
the teenagers and definitely not Rob? Like that would have just been weird. So
yeah, Rob like
you were staying
his
within your age
his
range.
his character was funny and everything and gave some decent comedic timing, but yeah, he you could just tell that he wasn't actually a teenager.
No.
Yeah.
Like Paul Rudd can do that, but no, just didn't believe Rob.
No, I completely understand. I enjoyed this movie. It's a good one that I could just throw on in the background, and there's certain points that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention for this part.
Mm.
This part I'm just gonna kind of do what I need to do. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
did kind of feel like that type of movie because I'll be honest, I kind of drifted out on the end of the movie. I don't really remember too much of what happened. So,
they defeated, or spoiler alert, they defeated Colonel Chi. Johnny kicks him into the water.
what were your thoughts on his villain type character? Like, did you like Leslie in that role?
I did, and the thing too is it was kind of a creepy role. Like it kind of him being in his little dungeon or whatever, it was kind of as a child, it was kind of scary to me.
Hmm.
And him being like part mechanical and everything because of the accident from when he took over or whatever. I enjoyed it. I thought he did a good job on it, honestly.
I didn't feel like they used him enough. Like he just didn't really
I
play a big part in that to be the true villain. It was like you were in the
and
movie for like that much.
that's part of what I think could the storyline could have
Hmm.
developed better. It was his villainous character storyline. That I mean, even if they would have taken out a few scenes, like maybe in while they were still in California, taking out a few of those scenes, and then just given that time to develop his character a little bit more,
Hmm.
I think made him a little bit more villainous because you really didn't see too much of really what he was doing to
Right.
the country,
Yeah.
or even give him a backstory of what was his interest in the country too.
Exactly.
Because not trying to get go on race here or anything, but a white male in a Asian country, where at least with Mac, they explained that he was like a military ally or something, but they didn't really give that to Colonel Chi. I mean, obviously, Colonel, some form of military, but
Hmm.
what was he a US military? Like what where was his where was his little bit of a backstory? I think that could have helped develop the story a little bit better, and made him more of a villain.
So do you feel like your viewpoint has changed on it since you first watched it as a kid to now?
It has. Has it changed as much as it did for like Three Ninjas? No. Because
Yeah.
again, this one holds up a little bit better.
Hmm.
It doesn't have quite as much of the like it wouldn't be completely torn apart in this new woke culture.
Right. It's not, there's not as many sensitive type topics.
Yeah. No, granted, the whole Rob Schneider's character thinking he's the king, he's the prince, and what if I said it. I said what if? And so it's me that I'm the one that's adopted. That's me that's the prince. That obviously you're just kind of like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're like,
I definitely, like I said, there's a it has changed, but not to a point where honestly I don't know how many more times I'll probably watch Three Ninjas, just because I mean maybe if I'm really in a super nostalgic mode, but this one I know I'll still be watching for the next 10 years or so. I mean, hell, it took me forever to refine the DVDs and everything. It really did. We had them when I was working at Blockbuster, and this DVD was badly scratched, and
hmm.
so it's skip.
Oh no.
So we had gotten rid of like we had when Blockbuster had closed, I had taken the DVD, but then it just got to the point where it wasn't playable, and it took me probably about 7 years to like really find a copy that I was comfortable purchasing online. Because sometimes you look at those and they'll say something, oh, made in
Mm.
somewhere, and you're like,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
is this going to be in a different language? Like, I don't want to read
some sort
subtitles the
of
whole time.
bootlegged camcorder off of the.
Yeah. And so it did take me a long time to find that. And there's another one that we might have to watch on an, just for the hell of it when, the next time we're together, and I'll just bring the DVD. It is another ninja one. We won't necessarily do it for this, but, it's, called Double Dragon, but it's also
Okay.
got Alyssa Milano in it.
Okay. All right, I'll give it a
So
go.
one of her earlier adult roles. That it was the same way with that one. Could not find it for the
Hmm.
life of me. And one of my coworkers at Blockbuster had actually said, "Hey, I found it and I bought it from this company. That yes, it says it's coming from, I think it was like Sweden or somewhere,
Hmm.
but it does play, it does
Hmm.
work, all this." I
Wow.
was like, okay, it is a good kids movie, like preteen kids movie that
So
for
sell it,
the family.
April. If anyone hasn't seen this movie, why should they watch it?
Well, I feel that it is a good family movie for, I mean, finding yourself, the whole true destiny thing, but coming into oneself and being able to accept that you are different and maybe not who you expected to be originally. And it's got great family dynamics with, Mac and the uncle with Satch. And it's got some action. If people have boys, it doesn't really have much romance, so there's not going to be a lot of ew, gross. There's what, one kiss scene or something. Um,
Mm.
that's pretty much it. I feel it's a good movie to just sit back, enjoy, and laugh at. The lines are funny. The acting, no, it's not like Marvel Cinematic Universe type, but number one, this was also 1993. And number two, you're dealing with younger actors for the most part. I mean, Ernie was he was 20 when he filmed this, and And so he was still pretty young. Rob, obviously, we talked about was in his late 30s. And Nick was also young. I think he was 12 or something. I think yeah, I think he was like 11 or 12. So he is more the age that he's playing. It's still an enjoyable movie if you're not going at it trying to critique it. Like if you're just wanting to watch something fun, it's a great movie. If you're wanting to like get deep into something, this isn't gonna be.
If you
It's
don't
not.
like ninja movies, you're not
If
gonna
you
like
don't
it, this movie.
if you don't like ninja movies, if you're not really into some of like the slapstick comedy, which I mean, like I said, this has some of that, just little lines from Rob especially, because I think this is actually like right around the Saturday Night Live, like
Mm.
his time about to go on that or
Yeah,
something.
I feel like this is around the time his career started getting bigger.
Yeah,
Not from this movie, but
no, but
it
this
wasn't
was
a
this was a pre movie, like kind of this is kind of what you're kind of getting with him. We already talked about this. I do the Elizabeth Berkley and go off on the tangents. In a Cliff Notes version, if you like fun movies that may not make much sense but can still be enjoyable, this is a great movie. But again, this isn't a award-winning Oscar nominated movie. So don't go into it expecting that kind of thing. I mean, that's one of my things with critics is so many people go into movies and they're holding them up to like an Oscar standard. And say, what do you know what you're going to do? Look
right.
at the
Yeah, it's like
name,
holding
for
this
example.
movie or Three Ninjas up to one of the best martial arts movie ever made. Like
Yeah.
with one of those top guys. That's
Yeah.
it's like holding those up to that. It's just that's not the point of them. So
No, it's
just have
not.
fun with it.
This is a movie geared towards preteens and teenagers. This isn't even really geared
I
towards
would
adults.
I would I don't even know that. I mean, I do feel like it's younger than teenagers, though, that would have
I'd say
liked this
like the
movie. Yeah,
early teenagers,
yeah.
because it does still have some of like I said, like some teenage aspects to it and everything.
Because if
But
you were late teens, you would have caught on that some of this
yeah,
just wasn't real, like at
if you
all.
were like 16 older,
You could tell Rob was not a teenager.
yeah. But if you still have that imaginative mind, it's
Wish I
something
still
fun.
had that.
Ugh, girl, same, same.
Where everything is just beautiful, innocent.
The innocence.
Uh,
Now that we went from one high to one low,
I can celebrate that the ninjas are over.
it's over. You're done. You're done with it for now.
All right, now I
I may
gotta
have to
rack
just.
up my movies for April.
Oh boy, payback's gonna be a bitch, isn't it? You already screwed me over with my girl. I mean, come on, really?
You saw that meme though that I sent you?
Yes,
That's hilarious.
as so great.
Oh.
Oh man. All right, so that wraps up Surf Ninjas for 1993. Happy anniversary, 30 years since its release. And
Surf's up.
if you want to
Cowabunga.
watch it, no, it's Kwansu, dude.
What?
Cowabunga is turtles, girl.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
This
What?
Surf Ninjas is Kwansu, dude.
Oh, I didn't know they had it.
Kwansu, dude.
I didn't
Kwansu.
know they had that.
Did you really must have like tuned out because that was like I that okay. Next time we're together, we're doing a drinking game every single time they say Kwansu dudes. I'm gonna make you rewatch the damn movie and we're doing we're gonna do shots every time they do say
Oh
Kwansu, dude.
God, you crazy.
We'll be more drunk than we were after our time at One Up with the Pokemon drinks.
Oh, don't remind me.
All right, so Kwansu, dudes.